Welcome to Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Wernette. Today I'm joined by three local nonprofits, the People's Resource Center, Hesed House, and Citizens Appreciate Public Safety.
Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, UC Bank.
You're watching Spotlight, and joining me now from the People's Resource Center are Allison Rickard and Charles Holt. So nice to have you both here. It's my first meeting with both of you, and I'm going to start with you, Allison, because you're brand new,
That's
right? You just
yes.
started in January. So give us a little bit of background on why did you choose the People's Resource Center?
Absolutely. So yes, I just started about 2 months ago as the new Vice President of Advancement. I first heard about People's Resource Center the same way a lot of people do. At my daughter's school, they were doing a drive for necessary items. And I remember being really drawn to that name, People's Resource Center. I thought, that's so practical and so inclusive. And so I was intrigued to learn more. So when the opportunity came to join the team, I jumped at the chance, and I've been here ever since.
Ever since?
Yeah.
Full 2 months. I love that.
Months,
I
yeah.
love that. I love that. And that's great. I do think it's a very practical name, right? It says what it is.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, as you're going into this year, talk a little bit about some of the new initiatives that you have, and maybe are they addressing problems, challenges, or just great opportunities for you?
Absolutely. Well, we just completed an $8 million extension on our campus in Wheaton, which means we have a state-of-the-art food pantry and more welcoming spaces for our empowerment programs and for clients to come. So we have this great new improved space built to serve, and it's our 50th anniversary. So for 50 years, PRC has been serving our community neighbor to neighbor, and it's also 10 years at our Westmont location. So we're celebrating that with a lot of events. And programming.
That's a lot of new space, and I love the built to serve. That's a great tagline.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll have to use that.
How many people are you typically serving coming through that facility?
So People's Resource Center supports about 25,000 individuals per year. That includes food pantry services as well as empowerment programming. So we have a jobs program where Charles is a volunteer. We have literacy classes, art classes, and other workshops to keep people engaged and to work towards their goals.
Okay, yeah, really about empowerment, right?
That's
because food
absolutely
insecurity often comes with other things that led to that.
That's right.
Yeah. Charles, I hear you are the volunteer extraordinaire. Yes, that's what I hear.
Well, thank you for that. I don't know about that adjective, but I will take it.
Good, good. Well, then tell me how you came to be connected with the People's Resource Center, and then also why.
Why? Okay, well, I came to be connected to People's Resource Center not through the internet. I did not do an internet search.
Okay.
I believe in recommendations. I spoke to a neighbor that was volunteering at PRC in the art department. And she spoke highly of PRC. I did a little research. She told me about the people, the mission, the values, and it sounded interesting to me. I had retired and I needed something to do with my life.
Okay.
I joined PRC 9 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm still there.
They haven't got rid of you yet.
Nope, I haven't been fired yet. Why am I still there? Well, PRC's mission, neighbor to neighbor, helping neighbors, the whole mission has not changed. It's still, they're true to their mission statement, and it's been a wonderful experience for me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Give me a little bit more about what you do there. What is your volunteer role?
Yes, well, I am in the food pantry, and I really enjoy that, helping people with feeding their family.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about. It's pretty basic. That I do that. I'm also a job coach, so people that are transitioning or need new employment or want new employment, I counsel them, find out what their skills are, try to match something that they're an employment situation that they will be comfortable with and lead to a rewarding career. So those are the two main things I do.
Okay. Well, you're almost coming up to a big anniversary at 10 years. So
right.
you have a lot of experience.
Yes.
What's something, give me a memory that just really stands out to you.
Sure. I recently had a person in the food pantry come to me that I've known for a number of years. Being in there, you get to know people.
Sure.
And this lady says to me, "Do you want to hear why I come to PRC?" And I says, "Sure, I would be interested in hearing that." And she says, "Well, first of all, I come here to the food pantry because I have a family. My budget is stretched. You really help me out in being able to feed my family good, healthy food. Secondly, I really enjoy the people that are here. Everybody that I come into contact with seems like they want to help me. Customer service is the
name of the game, right?
Customer service is the name of the game. Thirdly, I come here because I really feel a sense of love and caring. And in my life, I don't get that feeling very often.
Wow.
And that really struck me, like love and caring. Like that was pretty important to this lady.
It's like being part of a family.
She felt a part of the family. Exactly right.
Yeah, that's amazing because really that was really, when you look at the founder and what they were trying to accomplish, it is really neighbors coming around neighbors and creating that sense of family, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not just a slogan, a tagline, it's a real thing.
I love that. I love that. Well, and thank you for your service. I'm sure people are very happy to interact with you, Charles. I'm sure that's a real nice highlight for their day.
Well, I would hope so. And it is a two-way street. I enjoy serving people.
Yeah. I think you're getting something back too, right?
Yes, I am definitely getting something back.
Absolutely. So Ellison, how can the community get involved? Because obviously, you know, every nonprofit has needs. How can the community help you?
Yes. So volunteers like Charles, they power our work. 2,500 volunteers keep PRC's programs running. So
That's amazing.
Yes.
we are asking folks to, if they're interested in volunteering, to check on our website. You can also host a drive, donate, clothes, goods, or money, of course, and spread the word. Help us promote our programming, because things like our art program and literacy program, they're open to any of our neighbors in DuPage County. We really
Okay.
are here to serve. So folks should take a look at the website and see what's of interest to them.
Love that. Love that. Well, thank you both so much for coming by. It's been a real pleasure to get to know you. I wish you the best of luck as you start this new endeavor. And we'll be looking to celebrate your 10-year anniversary pretty soon there, right?
Sounds good to me.
You, the Westmont facility, and PRC at 50 years. That's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us, Jane.
Absolutely. And if you would like to learn more about the People's Resource Center, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We're coming right back for more Spotlight.
Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, UC Bank.
This is the run my own business dream. This is the college is paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned.
Why go digging for important Naperville news when you can have it dished out directly to you? With NCTV 17 News Update, get all the local headlines without any of the hassle or subscription fees emailed to you Monday through Friday. Because we believe in everyone's free access to stories that inform, connect, and empower the whole community. Sign up today.
Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, UC Bank.
If you're just tuning in, you're watching Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Wernette, And joining me now from Hesed House are Joe Jackson and Laura Jernigan. And it's so nice to have you both back with us. So we're really appreciative of that. And, Joe, let's talk mission. Give us a little bit on the mission and what you're trying to accomplish and what's new for you.
Sure. So Hesed House, our mission is feed the hungry, clothe the naked, shelter the homeless, and give people a chance to hope again. We're the second largest shelter in the state of Illinois, largest outside of Chicago, and we are one of what is called a comprehensive homelessness resource center. We're one of a handful of those across the entire country. And so what that means is basically just about any service a family or individual might need to get back up on their feet again, we have on site. Fully staffed medical clinic, a legal clinic, substance use disorder counseling, mental behavioral health counseling, tutoring. We have a scholarship program. We have housing in the community, mental behavioral health, you name it, we have it on site. And as far as what's new with us, a lot. It's been a year.
Yeah.
We recently opened our newly expanded shelter for adults. So we doubled our pre-COVID capacity, and we did that just to keep up with the rapidly growing demand for shelter services, which is unfortunate, but because of that shelter expansion, we were able to get through the winter. We weren't on a wait list, which was phenomenal, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure people have a safe, warm place to be on the absolute coldest nights.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of information. And I think, it's so interesting when you talk about all those wraparound services, right? Because homelessness is a symptom and there are other things that, families need. Talk a little bit about, you talked about the expansion. How many people are you seeing coming through the shelter?
So on any given night, definitely north of 200, if not 220, 230 in our adult shelter.
Okay.
And then even honestly worse than that, family homelessness has erupted over these last couple years. So on any given night, easily 120, 125 men, women, and kiddos just in our family shelter.
Okay. And are those separate situations, family?
Correct. We have
Okay.
separate spaces for adults and then for families.
Okay. Okay. And then also, I'm just, talk a little bit about, are people coming back in night after night? Are they, how does that cycle work, and how does it work a little bit, Joe, with your wraparound services?
Sure. So because of the wraparound services on site, actually about half of the people that come to Hesed House are out of Hesed House within 2 weeks.
That's
So,
impressive.
Right. They're able to get back on their feet and into housing of their own. About another 40-ish% are with us for up to a year. And then the last 10% are folks that are termed chronically homeless individuals, and they typically have multiple major barriers of homelessness that they take a little bit more services and time to get over. So.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. That's
you.
really helpful to sort of understand what that looks like, and kudos to you with those services. And I think that's really been the evolution, right? It's not just housing people overnight, it's helping them get back on their feet and get back into housing and whatever drove them out of housing in the first place, right? Lauren, what can the community do to support you?
When you think about all of the different ways that people come to us when they're facing homelessness, for some people, they don't even have to come to Hesed House because we're able to help them through our homeless prevention program. And so that's my favorite program. I know Joe talks about that too. We love that. So that's a great win when people don't even have to come to Hesed House. But a lot of people are with us, they're working full time. So they may need work boots. And so, resources, donations are great because that allows our case managers to get exactly what somebody needs. So gift cards are fantastic. We do different donation drives around the holidays. People always reach out around the holidays. But even during a random Tuesday, we have those same needs. And so really year round, we have different things. We have kiddos in our family shelter that are going to school that have different needs. So we have newborns, we have people who their baby's first day of life outside of the hospital is at Hesed House.
Yeah. Wow.
All the way up to 17, 18-year-olds that are living in our family shelter at times. So if you think of the broad scope, you think all of the different sports and after-school activity needs, you think of all those different things, and then supporting families and individuals as they're moving out. We also have a move out ministry that has blossomed. And so we have those kinds of needs. We have a bicycle ministry. So there's all different ways the community can come alongside us.
Yeah.
We also serve meals. And so that's one way that a lot of the community already comes alongside us. So you can reach out and get involved. And there's one way or another we can put you to work and you can come alongside us. So.
I love that. I love that. And
Yeah.
that's a really good broad spectrum. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
times we don't think about that. You'd hate to think that a pair of work boots is the only thing standing between somebody and employment, right? That would be really
that
sad,
happens.
right?
It does happen. You
Yeah.
know, we have guests, and truly, you know, we've shared photographs, and a lot of times we can't share the behind the scenes pictures
course
because for
not,
us
right.
dignity is really important, and we want to help keep that protected. But you know, folks come to us and they truly are walking, you know, and they don't have resources, and a pair of the right shoes and a bicycle is life changing.
Yeah.
And so that is what we sometimes call Hesed miracles. When we can get the right thing at the right time, it can be so life changing. And
Yeah.
our community makes that
Happen.
possible.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Joe, you know, those are some specific things, as Lauren talked about, that people can come alongside and support Hesed House. In general, though, the whole topic of homelessness, how can the community support and lift up the work that you're doing and address the homelessness issue?
Great question. To address homelessness, there is one major root cause, and that is a severe lack of affordable housing. And so to folks out there in the community, when they hear the term affordable housing, it carries all these negative stereotypes. And frankly, they're decades old and they're just not true anymore. So like Hesed House, we're getting into affordable housing. We're doing a development in Aurora. As people hear about affordable housing developments, I ask people to do the research, go online, and don't just immediately go to city council and pound your fist and say, not in my backyard. Do the research and realize that affordable housing means that a teacher in your community can live in his or her city that they teach in. Right now, there's cities locally where a teacher with his or her bachelor degree would have to work 15 years in order to afford the median one-bedroom apartment in that city.
Yeah.
That is absurd.
Right.
So when we talk about affordable housing, it's, you know, everybody's like, oh, it's Cabrini Green. It's not. It's housing for everyone to make sure that people can live in the communities in which they work and they contribute.
That's good. That's good. And do your research.
Exactly,
Right?
yes.
Do your research. Yeah. Lauren, as we wrap up, what's new? What's on the horizon for Hesed House?
We're thrilled that we were able to open our long-awaited shelter expansion for our adults, and that really is exciting because it allows us to look at our overall capacity. As we've mentioned, our families are really a great priority because we continue to see family homelessness rise just in general. And so what is on the horizon for Hesed House is our family shelter expansion. I know people are like, another expansion at Hesed, but it's really, really important because what people don't necessarily understand is most of our families are needing to stay off-site in hotel rooms because we just don't have the actual physical capacity on site for them. And so even though we're able to meet their needs, we aren't able to really care for them the way that we would if they were able to stay on site. Our case managers get to know them a little bit, but then they're separate and we're having to go off site and kind of juggle that. So that is the next kind of exciting step for us.
Okay.
And we're just really excited to make that more trauma informed and be able to care for our families in particular.
Yeah.
So I think that for me is the most exciting next step.
Joe, what do you think?
It's the same for me. Family, you know, I talk about affordable housing. We're not going to build our way out of that crisis tomorrow.
Right.
So in the meantime, we have to expand our family shelter because we don't want anybody on the streets, but certainly not kiddos. So we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we can meet the demand that's out there, and then continue to work on the long-term root causes of homelessness. Because I'll tell you what's on the horizon for us, we're going to close down. And we're going to end homelessness, and I'm going to be out of a job, and it's going to be the greatest day ever.
I love that.
I cannot wait for that day to happen, and we're going to get there.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And we appreciate it. With the good work that you're both doing, we know that you're on the path, and everybody needs to be smart and be researched about it, right? So thank you so much for coming by. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Jane.
Absolutely. And if you would like to learn more about Hesed House, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We're coming right back with more Spotlight.
Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.
This is the When Art Flourishes, Everyone Flourishes commitment. This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good.
What's the matter, boy? What are you trying to tell me? Is something wrong?
We live in a safe community, but not a crime-free community. If you see something, say something.
Naperville Animal Crime Stoppers.
Yes, I'd like to report a case of animal cruelty and neglect.
Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.
Welcome back to Spotlight. And joining me now from Citizens Appreciate Public Safety, or CAPS for short, are Wes Burnett and Ashley Kilco. So nice to have you both with us. And we're going to start out with you, Wes. Talk about your mission.
Citizens Appreciate Public Safety, CAPS, is a Naperville community group that recognizes individuals in the police and fire department and their contributions to the city. Each year, citizens are asked to nominate those individuals that they believe truly went above and beyond the call of duty and their care, I would say, for the welfare and well-being of all Naperville citizens. We have two events, one in the fall where we recognize individuals in the fire department, and one in the spring where we recognize individuals in the police department. Since our inception in the mid-90s, we have given out over 250 CAPS awards to public safety individuals.
That's wonderful. And I think it's a really nice way in our community for citizens to recognize public safety. I mean, there's a certain expectation of the work that they do, right? But we have plenty that are going above and beyond. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ashley, you've been with CAPS for a while, and I'm excited that you're the incoming board chair. That's really wonderful to see. I know you're going to do a great job with that. Talk a little bit about how CAPS works with other local nonprofits or businesses, how you partner together to further the mission of CAPS.
Collaboration is so important in Naperville, and one of the projects that we're working on right now is called the Cardiac Conscious Community. So we're partnering with the Rotary Club of Naperville, the Naperville Chamber of Commerce, and the Naperville Fire Department. And so the Cardiac Conscious Community is a way for us to get automated external defibrillators, AEDs, into businesses in Naperville. And so these organizations are subsidizing the cost for an AED and training for those businesses. We're in our second year right now, and by the end of this year, we'll have over 32 businesses having AEDs available for their customers.
That's amazing. And it's so important. And I think just a quick side note, I mean, we have one here, so we're really excited about that. Have had one for a long time, but I personally experienced where that was put into use at the Naperville Tennis Club about 15 years ago when it first went in, and it did save a life. And I think, you know, it really makes you understand it's technology that works, it's accessibility to it, right?
Yes, it starts with that 911 call, and then we're enabling citizens to take action. Police officers carry an AED in their car, and then the ambulance responds for that support. In the CAPS, we were able to actually honor a police officer for a CAPS award to be able to save a life. And now we're empowering our community also to be able to have AEDs in the community.
Yeah, and I think I love how, and I've heard it from being at your event, that citizens is a first responder, right? And that's partly what that AED program is doing.
Yes.
Yeah, those critical early moments are very important. Wes, you've been working with CAPS for a long time, and you've seen a lot of the awards. Give us an example of maybe one or two awards that really stand out for you, that really epitomize what you're honoring and what you're looking for from the community.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been on the board since 2016, and over that time I've seen a lot of acts of bravery acts of kindness, life-saving activities, and a lot of things that stand out in my mind. But one that really does, and one of the things I think we want to recognize in our public safety is a police award that we gave one year. And that was to an officer who was called to a motel and given with the order of evicting the individuals from the hotel for lack of payment. When he got there, it was found out that the individuals could not get to work because they had car problems. So later that night, after his shift, he went back in and helped the individuals get the car running and talked to the motel operator to get an extended stay. So that was one of our CAPS Award winners.
Yeah.
And that act of kindness, thoughtfulness, going back on your own time, and he bought the battery, it was a battery, on his own dime. So that is one that just sticks out in my mind.
Sure. I mean, it's a really good example of doing something in the line of duty, but then recognizing there's a different need at play here, right? Or there's a solution. And I think that's also an important one. Ashley, do you have a story of one that has really touched your heart?
I think I cry at every awards ceremony, actually.
I'm with you.
Because it is so moving, because I think our first responders treat it because it's their job, but they don't necessarily realize the impact that they have by just doing their job. And so I'm not sure that I have a specific story because every single award is so moving to me.
Yeah, I think that's true. Having sat through a lot of them, it is a bit of a cry fest. I go with Kleenex, I know that much, right? How can the community get involved with you? What's the avenues for that?
So there's two ways. For me, I would love to hear from them and I'd love to see our community members. So hearing from them, there's a way to nominate. So Wes talked about that at the beginning a little bit. If you have an interaction with the police department or fire department that is a positive interaction, we want to hear from you because we want to be able to tell that story. And we want to let the police department or fire department know that they made a difference in that response. And so being able to nominate is one way to be involved from our community members.
And Ashley, sorry, I'm just going to ask you a question. How difficult is that? Because I think sometimes people think, a nomination, it's going to be 20 pages and a lot of stuff. Speak to how easy it is.
It is just letting us know. It can be 2 sentences to a page if you're really moved by that action.
Okay.
And it could come in via a phone call on our website. We have a nomination form, or you can send an email. So there's multiple ways that you can submit anything that you want to say or a nomination.
Okay, I think that's important for people to know, right? Because sometimes you're like, that was great, but gosh, do I have the time to do that? So that's good to know. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, please. And then see you. We'd love to have you at our event in May for the Police Awards or in October for the Fire Awards. But we also have a CAP Safety Series that we host about 4 times a year. That's really about our relevant activities that are happening within the community. And so it's an informal way to interact with our police department or fire department and kind of learn, because preparedness is a responsibility of all of us, and kind of that see something, say something. So we can all learn how to better protect ourselves while interacting with the police department or fire department.
Yeah, I think that's great. Do you have a couple of examples of maybe some of the topics that you've done so far?
So we've done on mental health, because that can impact anyone
Absolutely.
at any time. And then we also shared a program about the fire department's CART program. So they have a new program that also helps individuals with mental health crisis, or really anything that might require multiple responses, but not maybe necessarily medically related.
Okay.
So that's been a really great turnout for us.
Yeah, good ways to get involved.
Yes.
Yes. Well, listen, I wish you all the best. I know you've got your upcoming police awards coming up soon, and then, as you said, you've got your fire department awards coming up in the fall. Ashley, again, welcome. Super excited to see you and see the organization under your leadership. Wes, thanks for your service. And we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you, Jane.
And if you would like more information about CAPS, please go and visit their website. I'd like to thank all of my guests for joining us on Spotlight, and our friends at Busey Bank for their generous sponsorship of today's show. To learn more about the organizations featured on this episode, please visit our website at nctv17.org. And to stay informed about what's happening in our community, Sign up to receive our daily news update and like and follow us on social media. For Spotlight, I'm Jane Wernette. Thank you for watching.
Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.